Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. Now, if you are taking a look at TV channels and newspaper headlines or anything to do with the news in the last couple of months, you'd almost be forgiven for thinking that there's really one party that is capturing all the headlines. And that's because of its completely meteoric rise out of nowhere, the Aam Aadmi Party. And now, of course, the big question is whether it can translate its success from Delhi onto a nationwide platform, or is it too early to do that? So today on this show, we're going to try and understand the Aam Aadmi Party phenomena and try and see whether it is really going to become a crucial factor in the 2014 election, or whether this is a lot of hype which will at some point fizzle out. It's easy to win seats in Delhi, but not necessarily in all parts of the country. So that's what we're going to take a really close look at right now. Joining us, a great panel, Randeep Singh Surjewala, Cabinet Minister of the Haryana government. Haryana, the next state the Aam Aadmi Party is targeting, I hear.
Absolutely. So I hear Professor Saab saying that.
Yes. So,
of course, you see it every day.
You're squarely in his spotlight, and there you do have Professor Anand Kumar standing next to you as a spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party and a member of the National Executive as well. So we're going to get your national plans out of you over the next hour or so. Chandan Mitra, MP Rajya Sabha of the BJP, is somewhat bemused, I guess, because all the headlines were Narendra Modi, and now suddenly he's having to share TV screens and split screen with Arvind Kejriwal. So, what does the BJP think of all of this? We also have it as Gaurav Bhatia, head of legal cell of the Samajwadi Party, who actually would probably be very happy to see somebody else getting TV screens and not have non-stop coverage about sci-fi and other such things. So
we would rather have all the coverage for Samajwadi Party and no other party.
Well, okay, I don't think the Samajwadi Party has been very happy at the coverage it's been getting in recent times.
We look forward to a better positive coverage because we are delivering on a lot of fronts.
Okay, maybe when your MLAs all come back, we'll discuss. Let them come back and then we'll talk about.
We are the media's favorite.
Okay, yeah. So let them come back. Let them come back. And let the festivities be over and then we'll talk. All right. It's always a pleasure to have Professor Ashish Nandi with us, a sociologist who's going to help us understand the phenomena, the social phenomena that could be behind whatever we are seeing as playing itself out in the Aam Aadmi Party. And of course, one of our best respected journalists, Aarti Jairath. Great to have you with us, Aarti, as always, who can help decipher everything that's happening. Professor Kumar, why don't I start off with you, seeing this is going to be really about trying to understand what exactly the Aam Aadmi phenomenon is. What exactly is your thought process? Because one thought process would be, let's only go after 50 to 100 seats, make sure we get a proper organization here so we can win those seats. Another one will say, let's go 300 seats, 400 seats, even if it means spreading ourselves thin. What are you planning?
You see, this Aam Aadmi Party is more or less like a consequence of a process of disenchantment coupled with active engagement for seeking alternative. First it was an alternative law, Jan Lokpal. Then it became an alternative political instrument. So wherever there has been this mobilization, be it in urban India, rural India, be it in Niyamgiri or in Bangalore, there will be some space and opportunity for something called Aam Aadmi Party candidate. The volunteers may be there. There may be support also. There may be also some sympathy, because that vacuum created by disconnect between the existing very solid, robust political structures and personalities and the people, so-called Aam Aadmi, where to go, who is listening to us, who is available to us, there we will have a good chance.
Chandan, is this a disruptive factor? And to what extent is it disruptive? Will the Aam Aadmi Party in the Lok Sabha elections be cutting into people's votes? Or do you think they're actually going to, is there a chance they'll actually win seats?
Well, Vikram, so far we've had the Delhi experience only. And Aam Aadmi today, in my assessment, is a regional party of Delhi. And we are yet to see their organization really grow or attract the kind of attention it got in Delhi, right from the Anna Hazare movement, from the Jantar Mantar dharnas on Jan Lokpal to Ramlila Maidan. So the mobilization was Delhi centric. And as far as spreading to other parts of the country, I think there are severe limitations, not only organizational, but in many parts of the country, there are established political structures, which are not the conventional structures of the Congress or the BJP. Regional parties in Tamil Nadu, in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, all these parties are very well entrenched. They have popular support, and therefore, to actually make a mark in those places where the Anna movement did not have the kind of impact it had in Delhi, I think is a tall order. But let us see, I don't want to prejudge.
But having said that, for them to have a real impact in the Lok Sabha, they don't necessarily need to even get 100 or 200 seats. Even if they focus their energies on Delhi and Mumbai and Bangalore and 3 or 4 other places, if they get 40, 30, I mean, if they get 20 seats or 25 seats, they are a major political formation, given that it could well be a hung assembly.
Except, Vikram, over the last few days, sections of the media have virtually declared Arvind Kejriwal a potential Prime Minister. So, you are having all these opinion polls and these gushing articles that are kind of almost preparing
it's like, so I think at some point they are also going to have to, that's what I started by saying, they're going to have to say what their target is. Yes. Is it to try and be the king in the 2014 election or potentially be kingmaker? Which of them is it, by the way? Can I just ask you your personal opinion? Which do you think?
No, I mean, we are really
try and be the king or the kingmaker?
No, I think these kings and kingmakers are gone. Aam Aadmi has arrived. And if we become ambitious in the power game, we will be part of the alternative discourses of political alliances. Actually, we are looking for ways to create alternative politics, which will include other political activists also belonging to parties or no parties. The problem is active citizen and his or her engagement in statecraft. And that's where the problem is. We have nothing to lose except this very obnoxious process, which is called polluted election, where there is really very limited space for ordinary citizens' vote.
Okay. Shorn of the ideological, shroud in which Professor Anand Kumar, the great articulate teacher of politics, has managed to convey, I think in short he means that he does not want his party to become ambitious at this point of time. He wants to move slowly and build up a movement. So I think they'll have to make a choice, whether they spend some time in building up this kind of movement in other parts of the country and what is the resonance they get there, or whether to go in for electoral politics like any other conventional political party.
Randeep Singh Surjewala, in a sense, it's for anybody who's watching the Indian political system, it's almost would be somewhat bemusing to see that the entire discussion right now is whether the BJP is going to do better in 2014 election or the Aam Aadmi Party is going to do something, and everyone seems to have written off the Congress Party, which actually is the ruling party right now. At least that's what the pundits seem to be saying. I just wanted to ask you, when it comes to the Aam Aadmi Party, do you think to some extent you made a mistake, and perhaps a strategic mistake, by backing them to form the government in Delhi, which in a sense has ensured that the Aam Aadmi Party has stayed on in the headlines? Otherwise, you may well by now have had presidents rule in Delhi, the whole matter would have been forgotten and we'd have moved on. By backing them in Delhi, you have given them the chance to stay on in the headlines day after day, week after week, and it may continue all the way till the elections.
No, I don't seem to agree, Vikram. As far as Congress support to Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi was concerned, that support is based on certain issues, as also a responsible understanding that you cannot have presidential rule indefinitely or have elections over and over again.
No, I'm asking if it was a strategic mistake. You could have knocked them out of the headlines, which by backing them, you have given them a chance to go on staying in the headlines.
See, as a responsible national party, we took a call, and it's an ideological call. And if I may remind you, we took a similar call in Assam, when we permitted All Assam Students Union, after that whole agitation of the students, to form a government rather than the Congress party. Sometimes you have to take a call which is even bigger than the party. But yes, we reserve our right to criticize them. Okay. We reserve our right to correct them. We reserve our right, even if we have made any mistake in the past. But today, in favor of people of Delhi, we reserve our right to continue to correct.
Before I come to the three of you, Chandan, that same question, was it a strategic mistake, or was it a careful strategic gamble by the Congress party that the anti-incumbency or the alien voters who are disenchanted with the Congress party will go to the Aam Aadmi Party instead of going to the BJP, and therefore the anti-Congress votes get split?
No, very good question you asked, Vikram. I think the Congress party has strategically decided. I am nobody to comment on their internal affairs, but it appears to me, both as a political activist as well as a journalist, that the Congress party has decided to try and stop Narendra Modi at all costs, and they have to deflate the BJP and try to bring the BJP's the hype over BJP and Narendra Modi in particular down. So Delhi was an opportunity. You cut your nose to spite the face. That kind of an attitude, that we will support the Aam Aadmi, let them form the government, let them indulge in excesses, let them abuse congressmen, let them say we will send them all to jail, but doesn't matter, as long as the larger purpose of preventing the rise of the BJP and Narendra Modi is achieved, the Congress is satisfied.
With due regards to Chandanda, I think this is a fear psychosis that prevails in the mind of the BJP. Congress has no such fear psychosis. We don't suffer from any such pre-nominations that if Mr. Kejriwal's party comes, then Mr. Modi goes down. There is no such fear psychosis prevailing here. The support is pure and simple on the grounds that I gave. Yes, there is apprehension on part of BJP because they projected, this was the only state where they projected Mr. Modi as tall and Mr. Harshvardhan as extremely small. We saw the posters and he was convincingly rejected there. So their mascot was projected only in one
Congress
state.
posters in large parts of the country where you have Sonia ji and Rahul ji and Manmohan Singh ji and the chief ministerial candidate is that small.
Even Manmohan Singh ji is very small.
But it did happen to Bharatiya Janata Party in Delhi, and that's why the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh is now turning around to say, please be worried because BJP is losing.
You see, Mr. Narendra Modi, ever since he was declared the prime ministerial candidate, his photographs are being put up. Why not? What is wrong with that in our posters?
Before I come to the two of you, let me now turn to you and let's discuss, what do you want, what would you rather discuss, Aam Aadmi Party or parties or MLAs travelling abroad?
I would like to discuss the Aam Aadmi Party as well as the regional parties. You look at some of the bigger states in the country which actually shape national politics, and I'm talking about UP, I'm talking about Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, where there is an alternate with the people, where the local parties connect with the masses of that state, they know the local problems. I think these regional parties have a major role to play in the forthcoming elections.
Okay, can I, at the risk of sounding a little nasty, can I just say that some of what we have been seeing from some of the regional parties and Samajwadi Party in particular, he was talking about the politics of disenchantment. When you have poor voters in states like Uttar Pradesh, when you have the people in refugee camps of Muzaffarnagar, and you see what their elected leaders are doing in states like Uttar Pradesh, would you be surprised if they would say that we are going to believe in the politics of disenchantment and we're going to go to somebody who hears our voice better? When our MLAs are flying around the world having a wonderful time,
I think
at a time when I'm in a
decision.
refugee camp, when they are sitting and watching Salman Khan dancing instead of at a time when all of this is happening, would you be surprised if the politics of disenchantment wouldn't go further in states like that?
Let me say this, that you're talking about the Muzaffarnagar riots. I think the media has given a very skewed picture. Common man is connected with local leaders, and our local leaders are apprising the people of what the state government has done. I wanted to just make very important point that Aam Aadmi Party, why did it succeed in Delhi? This entire situation was different. They were acting like a rebel. They were pointing out shortcomings of a government. Now they are the ruling party. They have to deliver. And I think, you know, very soon we will realize whether they are fulfilling the promises or not. And if they don't fulfill, then it would have an impact even in the general elections.
That's an excellent point, and I will turn to that because it's one thing to be the rebel, and I'm going to come to you on that. It's one thing to be the rebel, and it's one other thing to be actually the person who's delivering. And at some point, people are going to start asking questions about the Aam Aadmi Party's grander vision, its canvas, foreign affairs, economic policy.
The national vision that they have for the nation.
Is there something that exists, or is it just going to be we don't like the existing? But let me turn to you, Professor Nandi, and help us understand the psychology, if you like, of what's going to be playing out in the 2014 election. What Professor Anand Kumar said is that there's a sense of disenchantment with politicians, with their elected leaders. Is the sort of a message that the Aam Aadmi Party expressing, is it something that you think will resonate widely in many parts of the country now? Or is it a Delhi phenomenon because that's been their base?
Well, if you look at the opinion polls, not the electoral ones, but people's preferences in terms of professions and services and things like that, over the last 20 years, you will not find perhaps a single poll where politicians, bureaucrats and the police do not occupy the lowest 3 rungs of the ladder. Nobody likes them. So, you do not have to be disenchanted with politicians and bureaucrats and police. People are already bitter and they have always been disenchanted, at least for the last 20 years they have been so. So, that is not the, I would not think that to be a main propelling forces. I think in Indian politics for the last 40 years, perhaps since the beginning of 1970s, when populist politics came in a big way, there has been always a space for somebody coming from outside and staking a claim to the system. And this is actually a Gandhian model. Gandhi started Dandi March with less than 10 persons. By the time he reached Dandi, there were 60,000, 70,000 people, and then it grew into lakhs. That is a style in Indian politics which was repressed for many years, but populist politics has opened up that possibility. There are people waiting for an outsider. Even if Aam Aadmi Party does not deliver, and this is an important part of the story, I think it will perform well, because it reflects a moral posture which is valuable by itself. It is an antidote to the kind of cynicism we all live with, and yet we do not like entirely.
Okay.
It is the potentialities amongst all of us. It is not only confined to our supporters of Aam Aadmi Party.
Okay.
And also, one final word, that it is nothing unnatural or unprecedented in politics to take a position against a particular person and gang up against him or her. We did so in 1977, and at that time BJP was a beneficiary of that ganging up. Mrs. Gandhi, people wanted Mrs. Gandhi out and her son out. It was very clear. And similarly, for a brief moment, VP Singh represented the same force, same traditions, same psychological vector, if I may say so. And today, Aam Aadmi Party reflects it. Unless,
except that this time, sir, if there's a mood to get the Congress out, the argument would be, will that anti-Congress vote go to the Aam Aadmi Party or to the BJP?
I was not talking of Congress. I was talking about Chandan's argument that it was to gang up against Narendra Modi, that Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party has joined hands together. And I think, even if he had done, they are within the rights to do so.
Okay. Aarti, is this a media hype? Because that's what some people say. Notably, the BJP is saying this a lot right now, that this is just media hype. You guys have created these people. At the end of the day, it's all going to fizzle out. It's going to, other than Delhi, which is their base, they're not going to make any impact anywhere. Everyone will be surprised as how little an impact they make.
Well, I didn't see the BJP complaining about media hype when the media was building up Narendra Modi and focusing on Narendra Modi.
Which it still does, but every one of Narendra Modi's speeches is telecast live on every channel.
That's right, that's right.
And
the BJP never complained about media hype at that point.
Eyeballs. People want to listen
but
to
then you could say the same about the Aam Aadmi Party, that the media is showing the Aam Aadmi Party,
they are
but it
showing
draws
a press
eyeballs.
conference, which is perfectly legitimate. What's wrong with it?
Sadly, Congress press conferences are not being telecast
And
live right
many
now.
people tried to telecast Rahul Gandhi, but there were no takers.
But Vikram, I think a couple of things have, are pretty obvious in the last 2-3 weeks, ever since the Aam Aadmi Party actually produced those stunning results. One is that they have thrown politics into turmoil. There is today, I think, a fair amount of confusion in all political parties. And the two national parties in particular seem to be quite spooked by the Aam Aadmi Party. There is no question. And, they are now suffering under what is known as the Aam Aadmi effect, the AAP effect. You have Vasundhara Raje in Rajasthan refusing Lal Batti, refusing the Chief Minister's bungalow, saying that she will start, scaling down her security. You have Congress MPs in Maharashtra demanding that power tariffs be reduced. We had Sanjay Nirupam and Priya Dutt writing to the Chief Minister saying, please reduce power tariffs. I mean, they are doing copycat politics today.
There's something everywhere. I mean, I hate to keep coming back at the risk of infuriating Gaurav. There are some who are flying around the world.
And there are some who are flying around the world.
In fact,
who
when
clearly
the
don't
Chief
seem
Minister
to be
took oath, he was the first one to reduce his security and convoy. Just after his oath.
How many people does he have in his security now and in his convoy?
No, I can tell you that...
Reduced from what to what? Is
during the regime of Mayawati, it used to be a number of 500 persons, and it was brought down to 1/10 of that.
That's not necessarily the best comparison which I would choose to make.
I'm saying it's down to 1/10. And there, I don't wish to deviate from the topic. I don't wish to deviate from the topic. But I would like to emphasize for a Chief Minister to say that I'll not be in this bungalow, that bungalow, no security and all that. You are a person who actually is deciding for more than thousands of people. So it is important that you take the right decisions, and all these things like security cover is of 40 or 100 doesn't matter, as long as you take the right decisions and the impact flows to the common man. I think that is more important.
Fair enough. I mean, to one extent, again, you're right that some of these are more symbolic than actually making a difference in
No, but the point is that both the BJP and the Congress seem to be rattled by what is happening, and they are going in for the same symbolic gestures. So they look like the team B and team C of Aam Aadmi Party.
Aarti said that there is the so-called Mr. Kejriwal effect happening. But there are two important issues, and I think Gaurav raised a part of it. Aam Aadmi Party or Mr. Kejriwal's party has taken 2 or 3 decisions so far. One is to give subsidy on water. One is not to reduce electricity prices, but to pay that money to electricity companies. Also, the rest are measures which are more individualized. I am not even going to that. They will have to, in long term, not only state their positions on most issues affecting the country, but they will also have to deliver on governance. Can I give an example, Vikram? I was reading one of their legislators saying, oh, we received 700 calls, that's why we put our phone on IVR. I fought 5 elections, I receive 700 calls every day. I receive 1000 visitors on a weekend, I receive 2000 visitors. What is so great about that? It is part of public life and public arena. You have to deal with the masses. It's all about numbers. So they have to also re-energize their thought, re-energize their strategy, ideologically provide a cohesion to their thought process, and also focus on governance. They are new. You have to give them time. Let's be patient with them. Let's be fair. But they also have to focus on real-time.
What are they going to actually do? That's a point which I do want to come to. But before I come to shift to that focus, I just want to go across to Mumbai, where Anjali Damania is there with us, also of the Aam Aadmi Party, because I want to get a sense of this particular aspect of it. Can the Aam Aadmi Party make a difference outside Delhi, which was in a sense their historic base? So, Anjali, let me throw that question to you. We are seeing the Aam Aadmi Party start to come up in Mumbai, in Bangalore, in Goa, even there are units which are coming up there. But at the end of the day, it's one thing to be a rebel, something which someone like you has done so effectively when you were exposing scams and things like that. It's another thing to transform being a rebel into getting enough organizations on the ground and votes on the ground to be able to win seats. How do you think Aam Aadmi Party is going to do on that front in places like Mumbai or Bangalore or certainly rural Maharashtra, for example?
I would simply put it like this. We have created a huge turmoil, and that's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to change the face of politics in this country. There is a huge wave of AAP which is compelling these frontline political parties to change the way people think. And that's exactly what we started. That's what we wanted to do all along.
But Anjali, yes, I have no doubt about any of that. That will there be an AAP effect? Have you made an impact? Perhaps you'll even change the discourse of politics in the country. That all is fine. I get that. I'm not simply talking about the capability of winning seats in places like Mumbai or Maharashtra or Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu. Is the organization in place for the Aam Aadmi Party to be able to do that? Or at the end of the day, will it end up being a force which will influence politics but not actually be having enough seats to make an impact on its own?
See, basically it's just not an urban phenomena. It is happening in the rural parts also. Because the kind of numbers that we got in the recent national executive meeting, we had people coming from all the states, and each one of the convener gave us the figures which came up from their states. Trust me, these were phenomenal figures. Now coming to Maharashtra, where I have been traveling across all the districts, I have been seeing that this is not just happening in Mumbai and Thane, it is happening all across Maharashtra. Previously we used to have like hardly 50 to 100 volunteers in places like Jalna and Akola and Buldhana, but here now the numbers have gone up to about 12,000, 13,000 in the last just 1 month. I mean, these numbers are simply astonishing and amazing, and we feel that in Maharashtra you may have just heard that we have touched almost 5 lakh primary membership. This itself explains that people are finding this entire phenomena very appealing.
All right, fair enough. Chandan?
Yeah, I can understand Ms. Damania's enthusiasm. There is a lot of this very, very, I would say, rose-tinted and eager beaver approach that many young Aam Aadmi activists have, but that does not alone make a political party. And also there is a sustainability question. Can this be sustained? They have come to power in Delhi. I think it's very good that they have come to power. Otherwise, it would have been untried and untested, and they could have kept on selling dreams and attracting people. But now they will be tested on the ground. So by the time the election comes around in April, May, I think people would have made up a very, very considered decision with regard to Aam Aadmi Party, which is not confined to symbol. But I just have to rebut a few points that Aarti made. If Aarti had seen the Chief Minister of BJP Chief Minister of Goa, Mr. Manohar Parrikar, was once spotted sitting in a back row in a plane flying to Bombay, getting down at the Mumbai airport, standing in a queue for a prepaid taxi, paying the fare from his pocket and driving off in that taxi. This is the kind of simplicity that our chief ministers have been practicing and not propagating. No, Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
What about Mr. Modi?
No, Mr. Modi is a very simple person in
you
his
should
personal
see
life.
his cavalcade of vehicles.
No, because of the security threat, and now he's prime ministerial candidate.
Let's not exaggerate, Chandan.
No, I'm not exaggerating at all.
Let's not exaggerate and let's not compare Manohar Parrikar to your other chief ministers. See Mr. Raman Singh's cavalcade, see Shivrajji's cavalcade.
RSS value system, and when from the Jansangh days, this has been practiced in our party. I don't think it's right to say today we are imitating Mr. Arvind Kejriwal.
Let's just step away from austerity for a second. I just want to come to one other related point.
If you allow me to come in.
Yeah, Anjali, you were trying to make a point a short while back. Yeah.
This is what is said time and again by the BJP. They basically have only Mr. Manohar Parrikar who has been doing this, and probably I feel he is a misfit in BJP. Why don't we simply talk about people like Sushma Swaraj, Arun Jaitley, who are taking probably chartered aircrafts to go places? Why don't we simply talk about these people? And there was another point which I would want to rebut.
They don't take chartered flights for holidays. They are going.
I'm not talking about that.
Country, to attend political meetings and rallies.
I'm not talking about that.
And there, I mean, the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha and the leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha
at the disposal of Mr. Modi at any given point of time belonging to corporate houses.
Can I just bring this back to the Aam Aadmi Party from personal austerity?
Come into real life. If you are going to contest all Lok Sabha elections in all states, let me see your people not taking chartered flights or chartered helicopters.